Well, welcome back to San Antonio Living. So it's the day before Halloween, right? So we've got to talk about some very scary spots here in San Antonio. And there seems to be an authority on that. It's Russell Rush from Mix 96.1.
How are
Good
you?
to see you.
I'm an authority now. Okay,
you are an authority.
Didn't know I was an authority on much, but this...
I'll tell you what, I went through some of your hauntings, and it looks like you know what you're talking about. You've been doing this for 7 years now?
7 years. It all started for me when these ghost shows became popular. I was like, I'm going to find some ghost hunters and knock on them on the radio.
Yeah.
Then I went out with them, and the joke was on me because someone literally heard my name that night, and I'm like running to the light switch like, hold on, this is real? And so from then, it was kind of like, okay, I bought my own voice recorder, started going out with them on these ghost hunts, and then a production crew followed us, and 2 Emmys later, here we are with this show that is all about the legends and ghosts about San Antonio.
I love it. And you've put together a really interesting team of investigators. Who are these people? Like, they're real ghost hunters?
A couple of them, this is really all they do, but a lot of them have other jobs, and one is a school teacher. Some of them work on the radio show with me, but they just love to do this, and they're really just enthusiasts because it's not a science.
Right, right.
We're never going to know.
See what you got to see when you're out there.
Do you believe? I don't know if I get the sense from you if you believe or not.
I'm not real sure. Like I believe that they could be out there, but I'm just not positive yet. And just because I'm a little bit of a skeptic.
Or do you not want to believe? Like, I don't want to think that there's...
I think I'd be cool with nice ghosts, but I mean, I'm not like a fan of the scary ones. But I'm surprised that there's so many haunted sites in San Antonio. On your website, which is the Russell Rush Haunted Tour, you've got a list of like a ton of places that are haunted.
I want to say there's over 100 haunted sites in San Antonio with reported hauntings. The thing is, San Antonio is probably the 5th most haunted city in America. And that's just from, the Battle of the Alamo. It's an old city.
Yeah.
The Battle of the Alamo, and it's just history and tragedy built upon each other, and that's really kind of where it all stems from.
Okay, so some of the places you visited surprised me a little bit, and one of them being Pat O'Brien's. I'm like, that can't be haunted. It's just right downtown. There's hundreds of people there every night. What's the story there? Well,
it's built right down there, obviously across from the Alamo. It sits on where that battle took place. We don't know why necessarily, but patrons will go by there late at night, and the managers there I know very well, and they'll tell me, Russell, people are coming up to us at 1 o'clock in the morning saying, why do you have a little kid in the bar upstairs at this hour? And they'll argue with them, and they'll say, come upstairs, and they'll take them upstairs, and they'll show them a locked room that is completely quiet, nobody in there. But they saw a little kid up there.
See, that frightens me. Okay, so you go in there with some of your investigators, and you're asking for the little boy to show up. Yeah. Take a look. This is one of the clips from the haunted tour.
As the group splits up to investigate, Joanne and I make our first stop in the Briar Suite.
It's really intense. It makes you really feel dizzy.
All right, so just want to introduce myself. I'm Russell. This is Joanne. Are you playing hide and seek with us? But we want to play. Tell you what, you hide, and wherever you're at, you tap on the wall really, really loud, and we'll try and come find you. 1, 2, 3. All right, go hide. Tap on the wall when you're in place.
Something just touched my leg.
Oh, I'm real scared. What happened? Did the ghost child come out?
We don't know who it was necessarily, but Joanne on our team actually felt someone like grab her leg. And in that moment, that's a freak out moment.
Yeah.
The other thing about Pat O'Brien's is in that same room where they see the little kid, they have like child handprints on the glass.
And no one's in that room?
Nobody's
ever.
They'll wipe them down, and then they'll come back later.
Okay, we've got some pictures from that investigation as well. This is basically you and the team just checking the place out. The whole building looks a little scary, so I understand why it could be an attraction for ghosts. But another spot that you say is haunted is Six Flags?
Yep, Six Flags Fiesta, Texas.
That surprises me.
That actually used to be its own town. It wasn't a part of San Antonio. It was a town called Beckman, Texas.
Okay.
And Beckman, Texas basically consisted of that quarry. It's obviously built in a rock quarry, which was dangerous work back then. And one of the supervisors there had a daughter, Nessie, who would always go with him to work.
Okay.
And she fell in love with one of the quarry workers. And so they had lunch dates at the quarry, and the quarry pretty much involved their blossoming romance. And when they were to be married, they were going to do it at the quarry. Well, Nessie came down with tuberculosis. which in that time was a death sentence.
Yeah.
And so they tried to speed up the wedding planning to have that, but unfortunately she died before she could be married. So they buried her at the quarry in her wedding dress. And in now what is the Zaragoza Theater.
That's disturbing. Yeah.
The Zaragoza Theater, which you're seeing right now, which is their largest theater out there, they see a woman in a white dress walking around they believe to be Nessie.
Ooh, so you guys are like trying to find the deepest spot, which is like where she was buried, right?
Right. There's that. It's kind of weird. It's built on top of a well. And so we don't necessarily understand that at all, but they take us down and show us kind of the trap door and stuff. We actually had equipment that moved on its own.
Really?
Across the table 3 or 4 inches.
You saw stuff move, like
Yeah,
with your own eyes?
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's crazy. And we didn't even see it until we reviewed the video later, which is what happens a lot of the time. But Six Flags, it's one of those unknown places, but there's definitely something going on.
And we've got a couple of pictures of some of that equipment. It takes a lot to do these investigations, and the ghost hunters have all sorts of tricks and tools, and you can see some of them there.
Yeah.
You used a lot of tools when you guys were investigating Helena.
Yeah.
And this is one of my favorite pieces that I watched because you could actually feel the floor move.
That's what was going on. We were at Helena is an old ghost town down by Karnes City. It was on pace to be bigger than San Antonio, but Outlaws kind of took it over. If you've ever heard the story of Tombstone, Arizona, that was our tombstone.
Okay.
Outlaws took the city over. A sheriff there lasted maybe 6 weeks. 300 men were hung there in 1 year.
Oh, so that seems very haunting.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of bad energy there. And we're up in this 1800s courthouse, and we feel the floor vibrating, and you can see the equipment going off there. A lot of weird stuff. People were attacked there.
Okay, let's talk about that because I watched this and you've got a young guy on your team and the theory is that he was pulling, the ghost was using his energy to make the floor shake. And that guy right there. He's
actually with the family who lives across the road from Helena.
Oh.
So they live next door. His mother is threatened by the ghost. They threaten to kill her. It's a lot of activity in there. And
you pull him away and
Yeah.
he ends up with a scratch on his belly,
Yeah.
which scared me real bad. No one knows how that got there. And then another one of your investigators also had a scratch on her. Is that the first time you've ever seen anything like that?
That bad, that intense, yes. Later on in the episode, I was in the room of this old mansion that's on the property playing a piano. That's an original piano. And I was just messing around. And I felt stabbing pain in my back. And as soon as they moved me out of that room, it ceased.
I don't know. Russell, if you're a believer, I might be right not that far behind you. We'll have to see. So
Come on an
here's the deal.
investigation with us.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. So here's the deal. We've got you here today. We talked about these great things. Will you come back tomorrow
Sure.
and talk about some of the more recent investigations?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Fire Station 9, Wonderland Mall.
Wonderland Mall. That place creeps me out real bad. Okay, so here's the deal. You can watch the episodes, get caught up on all of the ghosts here in San Antonio online. It's the RussellRushHauntedTour.com. You can also find out more when you log on to Mix 96.1. Tomorrow, we'll talk about Fire Station number 9 and the Wonderland of the Americas Mall. Very spooky. I love it. Thank you so much for
Thank
stopping
you for
by.
having us.
Guys, don't go away because coming up next,